at the end of, because I was rejecting aripiprosole each morning, I was always giving them a lecture every morning when they'd try to give me the drug. I would always say, I would literally talk about all these philosophical things, religious things, spiritual things, and I was trying to explain why I just didn't want the drug, and I felt I felt panicky and scared and anxious, and of course they didn't want to hear that, did they? And I think they complained to the doctor, and so the doctor decided to then put me on a depot. If you don't know what a depot is, it's basically a really long-lasting injection. An antipsychotic, a really strong one again, and it was meant to last a month. So one injection that lasts a month. Boy, this one was, by the way, before this point, I just have so much evidence to the fact that things were going so well, in a way. I was starting to kind of adapt to the hospital, and everything else other than the drugs, I was interacting with patients. There's this one guy called Jake, and he came and he was just so scared as well, which is understandable. So I tried to comfort him. I gave him cake, I gave him chocolate, and I started to feel so much better just by doing that. That was that was the start to my actual recovery. It was just this interaction where I made a difference in someone else's life in hospital. And yeah, he was we became quite good friends, to be honest. And we were trying to plan how can we get out of here. We were both kind of together, against the doctors, I guess, and the hospital, and we were seen as probably ill by them, and we were like, these guys are delusional. Well, not delusional, but we thought that they're wrong, and we're trying to kind of find a way to get out. Yeah, then comes the day of the depot. Before the depot, I was again panicking a lot. I would have done anything to get out of that hospital. I phoned my host mum in Germany. I asked if she could send me money so I could be taken to a private hospital. I texted someone who I know who, someone else who I knew, for money, so that I could be taken to a private hospital. That I was thinking of all these ways that I could be taken out of this hospital and not given these drugs. My host mother said she would send 600 euros, which was extremely generous of her, but that was enough for one night at a private hospital. And I told the doctors, I said, hey, look, I've got money, for one night, at least it's enough for them to assess me. Can I be sent to a private hospital? And they're like, no, you're trying to avoid treatment, so we can't do that. And I also really wanted to go to Holland, because I heard that in Holland they don't really enforce drugs. So I was like, look, can I have my treatment in Holland? And they're like, no, sorry, you might escape on the plane or something, it's a big responsibility, we can't do that either. So I had absolutely no freedom, no rights. I was completely captivated in this place, and they were about to give me my next depot. And yeah, so then the next day I remember hiding in a corner with my jacket completely covering my face and my whole body. It was a black jacket, and I was thinking, maybe if I just hide in this corner with my jacket completely just zipped up, they might not see me, they might not find me, and then I will just stay here until something happens and I escape. I don't know what I was thinking, but literally I was and then I got bored, so I just sat outside, and then a nurse came to me and she said, hey Karen, do you want to just come into the other room? I was like, look, again, I was trying to explain, look, I'm not psychotic, I don't know why you want to give this to me. And they were then trying to give their kind of explanations, and they were saying, you know, this is what the doctor said, we're just following what he said, kind of thing. I think that, you know, some of them did say that, maybe that wasn't at that time, but some of them did say that. I mean, some of them said, yeah, we question as well, but I don't know how much. Anyways, then so I just rejected. I said, no, look, I'm not going in this other room. I know what you guys are doing. You know, I know what you guys are going to do. I'm going to stay out here. You know, I'm not going to conform to anything that you guys are trying to get me to do. Because you guys are just trying to control me. You guys are trying to inject your drugs on me, and this is not cool. I don't like this. I'm going to stay out here. And then, I don't know, I think it was around 6-7 nurses and staff came. And this is... Sorry, Sorry, I had cake with me. I was eating cake, and I was like trying to offer it to the staff. I was like, maybe if I'm kind enough, they'll just maybe if I'm kind enough, they would like. I'm not feeling. Yeah, this is, you know, it's not a huge deal. I'm not feeling sorry for myself, but yeah, it was quite horrible. So sorry if I'm emotional, but like, I was like, yeah, maybe if I'm kind enough to them, they're just not do it. You know, they just decide not to give me the drugs. And so I did just, you know, I was trying to still have some humour as well, and be me. So I was like, hey, do you want cake? So they're like coming with these needles, and I was like, you guys want cake? And so yeah, I was offering lemon cake that one of my visitors had given to me, and they're like, sorry, not now. And they brought a curtain and they put it kind of between me and the hospital, and sat. One of the nurses came with the needle. They all held me down first, and I was trying to move and I was trying to escape, and then this lady came from the back. I could see her from a distance, and from the hospital with a needle, and she was walking and yeah, of course she injected paliperidone loading dose, so it's like, I don't know, it was quite a high dose, I think, and into my buttocks, and I just let out the loudest scream I think I ever could. You know, it was the loudest scream. And one of the staff from the hospital, they said, she admitted she wasn't on that team, so she didn't have to give drugs to people, but so she wasn't given orders by the doctor, so she could give me a subjective view, and she said, Kerem, I would not have been able to do that. That was barbaric. And, you know, she was constantly telling me how I was just normal, how I was, in fact, more than normal. You know, she viewed me as a really kind of, you know, like a caring person. They constantly said things like, you know, to me that gave me assurance that I wasn't mad and that I was Kerem, you know, I was me, and I was a good person. But then there was lots of nurses that were trying to constantly enforce the belief on me that I had psychosis or that I had something wrong with me, and they were constantly trying to make me believe. Yeah, and I was like, look, I don't. And they'll just note that down as he doesn't have insight. That was frustrating. So yeah, because you know, if you don't accept that you have psychosis, or if that something was wrong, then they just note down that, you know, he's not willing to get better, he's not trying, he's not cooperating, he's not telling the truth, or he's not, he doesn't have insight. So I was noted down as lacks insight. And there's nothing you can do about it, because no one really believes you. Yeah.